Welcome to the pre-show. This is like a tailgate party for Sharathon.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm Kyle Heimann here with Andrea Serrani. We are just trying to get everybody warmed up a little bit, excited for Sharathon Day 3 of 4. So, as Bon Jovi would say, whoa.
What?
You don't...
I do not.
Come on, that was the
I'm
best
not
lead.
Following the reference.
Bon Jovi. Whoa, we're halfway there.
So okay.
in the
song, it's not. Whoa.
No, it is not.
So I'm sorry that I was not prepared to hear the most unenthusiastic version of Bon Jovi I've ever heard in my entire life. It didn't. It was so far off what Bon Jovi sounds like that it was unrecognizable.
Oh.
Anyway, we're just, like you said, we're here to get things warmed up.
And this has been a I feel pretty good about how we've been doing it in the morning.
Yeah.
We got some good donations on Monday, some good donations yesterday.
In these uncertain times, parents continue to choose St. Vincent.
Good morning, everyone. See, keeping everybody on their toes.
Uncertain times. Call for uncertain people. Also in the studio with us, we have our executive director, Cindy Black. She came on a Thursday because it has been long-standing tradition to have Theology of the Body Thursdays.
We're bringing back all the old gang.
I wonder how long we were doing that. At least 2 years, probably, right? Yeah. So one of the things I just want to say, people maybe were wondering why we stopped doing the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple reasons. I was reminded.
They all happened at the same time.
I was reminded of one of them this morning. As people may or may not know, my wife is a doctor. She also she does family practice and OB, so delivers babies. Last night she said, "I've got 3 babies on the way. Can you call your mom?" And so my mom got up early this morning. She's retired. She's supposed to be living the life of sleeping, no alarms,
basically
relax.
She's supposed to be living the life of do whatever she wants.
Right,
if she wants to get up early, fine. But if she doesn't, fine. But not today.
Out of the goodness of her heart, she got up and came over so that she could be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I could buzz up here. Her and my dad will get the kids to school and everything. It's amazing. So thank you, Mom, if you're listening,
thank
for helping out. But yeah, things get a little chaotic, and so. That was one of the reasons I had to step back from the live morning show and change things up a bit. But also, I think it's been an opportunity for me to get involved in different ways. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what's happening. I know some people are familiar with Spoke Street and what we're doing with Spoke Street, and some are not. So maybe we can give a little state of the organizations. Yeah, the apostolates. Before we get too far into things, though, I do want to issue a couple things that you can text us. One is your favorite saint quote, and I got a doozy from somebody on Instagram. But also, you can play Tribond with us. And let's back up a second. Before, favorite saint quote, I think is intimidating. Even you, Andrea, were like, "What is my favorite saint quote?"
Yeah, and I said to Kyle, I was like, I read about saints not kidding, literally every single day. And I was like, I can't even think of one single saint quote, let alone my favorite one. I know, it's a lot.
I don't even know if you told me, like, what's your favorite Saint Mother Teresa or Saint Pope John Paul II quote? Like, I don't know. Like, I got 80 favorites to choose from.
Exactly.
You know? So just pick one that maybe has some particular meaning to you, one that you really enjoy, one that's in your top 10.
One that's worth sharing.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only bar we're setting.
A good yes. saint quote.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple good ones here to share with you. So text us your saint quote. Text us the answer to Tribond, which today's Tribond. First of all, yesterday's Tribond was an airplane, Abe Lincoln's family, and Grizzly Adams' family. I thought this was pretty clever. They have cabins. The airplane has a cabin.
We thought that one was hard,
yeah,
but a few people got. They always do. Tribond was always amazing.
I only got the potato one this week.
I never know Tribond, and other people are so good.
Today's Tribond, 3 things that have one thing in common: Sooner State abbreviation, thumbs up, historic corral.
See, I got this one.
Okay. There's a couple of them that kind of tip that one off.
Yeah. If you know one, you kind of know them.
Yeah. If you know the answer, text it to 260-436-9598. Again, it is Sooner State abbreviation, thumbs up, historic corral. If you get it right, we have a prize to send you. The prize is a cartoon about Jesus. We'll say that. Has nothing to do with the Tribond. It's just something. Are you laughing because?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I better send in my answer so I can see it.
Yeah, don't look over Andrea's shoulder. And see.
It's good. I like it.
All right. So send in the Tribond. Send your favorite saint quote or one that's in your top 1,000. And also feel free to send a donation. One thing that we're going to do, we have an incentive each day. Today, I posted a picture on the Kyle Heimann Show Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to see what these look like. But I have 4 stickers for anybody that donates any amount before 8 a.m. So before we officially are kicking off Sharathon, you will get, in addition to whatever else you get. So if you donate $120, we'll give you the T-shirt that says "Made for Greatness." Cindy's wearing it. This is great. I wore mine on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea wore it yesterday, and Cindy's wearing hers today. So we've always got something covered. And I don't know if we're live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, but if you are, maybe you can see Cindy's shirt if you're watching there.
And I'm just drinking my coffee, so don't look at the bags under my eyes.
And I am eating your
zucchini
bread. So good.
Yeah. I just used the rest of my fresh zucchini, but I froze a lot of shredded zucchini to make it through the fall.
Maybe we could give away
some zucchini bread
recipe. No, the recipe.
Oh, the
there we
recipe.
go.
That's a good idea.
Right?
It is the easiest recipe, and it's so good. Yeah.
Maybe we can have an incentive for that. So 4 stickers. I've got a Spoke Street sticker, which is like a holographic sticker. It's all like reflective and cool.
My children love these stickers.
They're really cool. I've got one on my computer.
They're like, it has a rainbow on it. It's the coolest thing they've ever seen in their lives because every time you move it, you can see a little rainbow.
It's like the back of a CD kind of texture.
Like a little prism effect. Yeah.
I've got a Leave Room for the Holy Spirit. There's only a handful of these left that I still have. Leave Room for the Holy Spirit sticker. I made a little sticker with the lightning bolt that I've been using for the Kyle Heimann Show logo. And so there's a little lightning bolt. And I have a band called Popple. And so we have a bunch of Popple stickers. So if you like stickers, you can get 4 stickers for any donation. And again, that's in addition to whatever else you would get. If you do $120, we have the T-shirt. $300 has a chance to win the Notre Dame tickets. $400, and you're a day sponsor. There's also 700 and 1,000 day sponsors for more mentions of whatever you want to honor for that day. But also, you can apply it to. We're not. This isn't an official Sharathon hour, so we encourage you to apply it to another hour. I mean, if you don't care, you don't care. That's fine. If you have something specific, a parish that is participating in Sharathon, a ministry, or if you want to donate to the Titman Hour, which is happening at 10 o'clock today, then whatever your donation is, it'll be doubled. So you want to do $120 or $10 a month for a year, you get a T-shirt. It gets doubled by the Titmans, and also you can get 4 stickers. So just text 260-436-9598 with however much you'd like to donate. You can also text the word "give" to that number, and it'll give you a link that you can donate online. But let us know too, because we like to feel like we're actually doing some good getting up this early in the morning.
And we got to know who to give the stickers to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So let us know. Even if you donate online, you go to redeemerradio.com/give and you donate there. Send us a text so we know and so we can make sure we get those stickers to you. So while you're doing that, you're texting 260-436-9598 with your saint quote, with your Tribond answer, with your donation, your pledge, if you will. Thought might be a good time to check in with Cindy. How are things going?
They're going well, yeah. So it's strange because the past couple of years, Sharathon has been 3 days.
Right.
So yesterday I was like, oh, wow, we're not 2/3 of the way through. We're only halfway through, which is good because I'm looking forward. Yeah. There you go, living on a prayer.
So We have launched Spoke Street, the podcast network. And one of the things that we've been talking about with that is the need to grow and the ability that we have to grow if the finances are there. Part of that is with staffing. But also, I mean, some of it doesn't cost anything. For us to get more podcasts from other people that are already being created, all it takes is me reaching out to the podcaster, say, hey, are you interested in being part of the podcast network? And if so, great. So that doesn't cost us anything. We can get more content and we can share and collaborate with other podcasters and things like that. But there's also some shows that we would like to do that we see a great need for, that people have been asking for, and they wouldn't be cheap to produce. Some of them would be easier than others. You've talked about one on marriage, which that could potentially be done fairly economically. You know, just have somebody to help produce the show, edit the show. A lot of the people that are doing it would probably volunteer their time for something like that. Maybe you can share a little bit of your vision on that. The other show that we've been working on and we've got outlines for and
a name, a logo,
everything is a really highly produced show. And I don't know that means different things to different people, but there are a lot of podcasts that I listen to that are super engaging and interesting because so much work is put into them that every detail is intentional. There's nothing in the show that will waste your time. Every word was intentionally left in there because it adds to the story. If any, like they'll do an hour-long interview and just use a 30-second clip because that's what they needed to tell the story. And they splice all these interviews together with some music and some transitions and narration, and it just tells
the word
a story.
For me is captivating. When I'm listening to one of those highly produced podcasts that I'm really interested in the topic, and sometimes even when I'm not, I share the story about listening to an ant's world, like the communication of ants and how they're able to lift things and transport crumbs and build these ant hills. There's got to be a form of communication. And I heard this highly produced story about ants that I was captivated by. So we need to tell the stories of saints, but also everyday people that are sharing Christ in pretty heroic ways, but that may seem so simple, so that those people who are skeptical or even hostile towards religion can say, there might be something to this. So telling the stories in a way that we see Christ in others and we're trying to extend God's love, which, teaser. So the name is By Extension. So by extension, we who have been given much, then by extension are to extend that love of God to others.
And I think as a listener, because I've listened to some of the, we have some interviews or some conversations that are like the starting point. And it's great as it is, but it's not what it could be if we kept exploring and said, let's take this conversation. They mentioned this person. What if we go and talk to that person and get their perspective of the story? And we keep on chasing this down until we have this really well-rounded story. So when I listen to even the little nuggets that we have already, I am inspired by extension. Like by hearing the way that they lived out their faith, it challenges me to be better, to kind of pick up the slack that I'm like, oh man, I could be doing that with my kids.
Well, and the stories that we have so far are so diverse. You know, we have one about Cuban refugees that relocated here decades ago and their lives. We have one about a family who befriended a man on death row, and he's since then, through their witness, come into the church and believes that he has dignity for the first time in his life. And then we've got a simple family that decided to extend a kind gesture to a man they saw walking to the bus stop every day. And not only did that family benefit, did that man benefit, but the whole family, and then their whole parish community has benefited through this friendship with somebody who they wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. So part of the reason I bring this up is one, so people can kind of see this big vision. Like when we're doing a Sharathon, it's not just to keep the lights on. Like that's not inspiring to me. Like let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Like to me, it's we've got this big vision, and not only can we keep doing what we're doing, but we can be better. We can keep getting better. We can improve quality. We can improve who we're reaching to. There's a lot of our podcasts that are so good, and the download numbers to me are like, why are not more people listening to this? And part of that is we need to promote it. We need to get it out there, and we could use your help to do that. So if you're listening and you're like, I really like this podcast, well, tell people about it. Post it on social media. Share the podcast that you love, whether it be a particular episode or the whole show in general. Just say, hey, you need to subscribe to this podcast if you're not already. Take your friend's phone and subscribe it to him. Show them how to use a podcast, whatever. Like, we need to be able to promote these shows, and some of that might cost money, whether it be hiring somebody that's going to be engaging in our social media, or maybe even paid ads to promote it. We've had a lot of success with what little we've done with paid ads, that it really does attract more people that end up becoming affected by the message, right? It's not just like we need to boost our numbers so that we can impress somebody. No, it's we want to reach as many people as possible with the gospel. And so I say all this, one, because every little bit does help, and anybody that's donating, $5 a month or $20 one-time donation, whatever, like it all adds up because we have so many people that are listening. And if everybody that was listening donated $20, that would be great. But the reality is a lot of people don't donate, and that's fine. Like we want this to be free. We want the radio to be free. We want the podcast to be free. And so if people aren't able to donate or they're not inspired to, that's okay. We still want to reach them. We still want to help them. But if you are able to donate, we want you to do that and to be generous and to not only think about, how can I donate to Sharathon, but maybe there's somebody that's listening that says, I really like that idea, and I've got these funds that we've been saving, or like we donate so much per year to different organizations. We've been trying to figure out what we're going to donate to this year. And there might be somebody that's listening that says, I want to make that show happen, and I have the ability to do whatever it takes. And that might just be a conversation that you want to have with Cindy. And if you want to hear more about the show, the vision for it, to set up a time that you could sit down with Cindy.
Or Kyle, or both.
Yeah. Happy to.
Yes.
And explain what we have vision for Spoke Street Media, for some of these different ideas for podcasts, the marriage one that we haven't really talked about a little bit yet. So if you would like to donate a little bit, a lot of bit, whatever, you can text 260-436-9598. You can donate online, but you go to redeemerradio.com/give, and you can enter your information there. No problem. But also send us a text. Let us know so that we can also make sure that you get these stickers. We got a 4-pack of stickers. If you want to see what they look like, you can go to the Kyle Heimann Show Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I posted pictures there. So facebook.com/Kyle Heimann Show, Instagram.com/Kyle Heimann Show, Twitter.com/Kyle Heimann Show. It's consistent.
Easy to find.
And I got a question on the leave room for the Holy Spirit. Is that clear underneath, or is it white?
It's white.
Oh, so it'll show up on my computer on the back of my.
The other thing, so I don't put stickers on anything.
Okay.
Like ever, but I saw that Kyle does this now too.
I
have a clear phone cover, like my phone case is clear, and I just change out stickers. I don't even take the.
You don't take the back.
I don't even take the paper off or anything.
I copied you.
Yeah.
I saw you did that.
You can slide it.
So
in.
then I just put it inside my clear phone background. Maybe you can see if you're streaming, and I just swap. I just rotate through stickers that I have. So I've used the Leave Room for the Holy Spirit before.
Yep.
I used to have this like cool like watercolor Sacred Heart, or it was Immaculate Heart that I had in the background. Right now I have a sticker that says may the dogma live loudly within you, which is
Okay,
nice and cheeky. But yeah, so if I know people might be like me and be like, no, I don't permanently attach things to my belongings. So maybe you're like, I don't need any stickers, but you can do other things with stickers.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever put a sticker on a laptop. I'm always like, oh, what if I sell it someday? I've never sold a laptop. I just use them until they're worth nothing.
I know.
And so I did put a Smoke Street sticker on my laptop finally. And now anywhere, if I'm a coffee shop, whatever, people can see the logo. We've talked about saint quotes.
Yeah.
And
I do have a couple to share from listeners.
Okay. The one I got over Instagram is from Brandy Fish.
Oh.
Who said,
Hi, Brandy.
said at Mass, St. Thomas Aquinas reportedly heard a voice coming from a crucifix that said, "Thou hast written well of me, Thomas. What reward wilt thou have?" To which St. Thomas Aquinas replied, "None other than thyself, Lord." And then she adds, "To which I personally reflect, what good are earthly pleasures and entertainments if I lose God? To what good is it to deny my crosses if I lose God? To what good is it to do my will than to do God's will or accept God's permissive will? These are no good to me if I lose God in the process."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Brandy Fish.
Mic
That's
drop.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, send in your saint quote that is maybe speaking to you in the moment, or one that you've got hanging up on your wall, one that you kind of go to every once in a while, or just one that's in your top 10.
We can call it a favorite, but but we don't want the pressure of it being your favorite. It's just one that's worth sharing.
260-436-9598. Your saint quote with your donation.
The Fish family have an incredible story that would be for by extension too.
Yeah. Well, and they're part of the story that you mentioned of
that's
the father
right.
and
The
son.
man. Yep.
Yeah. Wait, I can't wait for people to hear this.
Right.
So, again, if you want to help make this possible, reach out to Cindy or I, and we can sit down and chat about what this is going to be. So, you said some more have come in via text?
From Mary, we have Pray, Hope, Don't Worry.
St. Padre Pio.
St. Padre Pio.
Yes.
Yep, I knew you would know that. And then Richard sends in, we cannot all do great things, but we can do small things with great love.
Yeah.
This is another one that I think probably you can guess who it is because it's such a good
St. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. I had that made. We made shirts for Christmas presents.
Oh, cool.
For like all the little cousins and stuff. We did a boy shirt and a girl shirt that said "Small Things with Great Love." Mm-hmm. With just like when you have little kids wearing a shirt that says "Small Things with Great Love," it's like
Yeah, I have a good Mother Teresa one that is one of my favorites that I like that I can share. She says, "Joy is prayer, joy is strength, joy is love, joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls."
Yeah,
isn't that so good?
Love that one.
I know, I like that one
because you know what doesn't catch souls? What is not in that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Miserable people.
Yeah, that's like throwing poison in the water and killing all the fish. Your hatred is an oil spill.
Yeah.
Please just get rid of it. Yes.
Cindy, do you have a saint quote that speaks to you?
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
So many, right? I know. It's like so hard to
Well, one
just
of them that I've really been pondering lately because there's been incredible things happening in my prayer life and just random. It seems random, but St. John Paul II said that in the designs of providence, there are no mere coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think of God's providence, that he's at work in large and small ways in our life. So I think, thinking about that he cares about every detail of our lives.
Well, and I think there's maybe a distorted way that you could look at it as like, I got in this wreck. Like this is God wanted this to happen. And, that kind of thing.
Yeah, God isn't like, I want your 4-year-old to have cancer or whatever.
Right.
That's not what we mean.
That's not what but in every situation, I think we can see what is God calling me to?
Right.
How is God calling me to respond? So we have an angry neighbor or whatever. Like, how can I do the will of God in this situation. And not to mention those kind of things that seem like coincidence, like, oh man, we just both happen to be at the same place at the same time, like Joe Fish.
Right.
I got invited to a party at his house one time, and there were so many connections that were made and friendships that have been like ongoing. It just seems like, wow, that was a coincidence that these two people were there, and I was looking for. It was just kind of a crazy thing. So, but yeah, God can work through those everyday things and encounters, and if you're open to the will of God, He can work through them. I think I can't pick a favorite, but one that I've been kind of excited about lately. And this is all over. Everybody, any woman that hand letters things,
yes,
has used St. Joan of the Arc's quote,
Right.
and there's a different version of it. But I'm not afraid, for God is with me. I was born for this. And one of the reasons I love it is because Father John Riccardo is
Right,
you were
yeah.
born for this, and he always ends his podcast with that. And I think the way he says it at the end, it's like, don't be afraid. You were born for this. It's like this. It's like
epic
rally
sounding,
cry at the very end of his podcast. Like, he's just been preaching all of this great information, which, by the way, we've got a little clip that plays during Sharathon of, I think it's Jeremy Rady saying how much like he loves Father John Riccardo and talks about, and like we have been playing Father John Riccardo stuff for years, but a lot of it's old recordings that we've just been kind of repeating. Since we've been able to switch to the podcast block, we're able to play his podcast. And if I had to guess, if I were able to bet on something, I would bet that we are the only Catholic radio station in the world that's playing Father John Riccardo's podcast.
His new stuff.
Which is so good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Every week, I'm like, whoa. Yeah.
I mean, every other Catholic radio station is not playing this content because they don't have the
flexibility.
The flexibility. Yeah. They haven't kind of cracked that nut that we have been able to crack. And so it's just a way that we can do, I mean, and also like Bishop Barron's homilies, like there's great nuggets that we get to hear every Monday at that, because we're able to use podcasts. And so I think this kind of thinking outside of the box, I think we're very blessed here for many reasons. One, that the staff has been open to it and been flexible and been willing to do the extra work, especially Doug having to kind of figure out how this is all going to work. But also a board that is very supportive and says, yeah, let's try it. Let's take some risks. But also listeners who, there's been a few that have been disappointed, like, I really like this show.
I loved something,
But there's been so many that have said, I was originally upset about it, and then I started listening, and I love what you guys are playing. So,
So speaking of board and extra work, Doug being here, long before the sun rises.
24/7.
Yeah. We have so many volunteers during Sharathon helping us, and throughout the year helping us. We could not do what we do. We're being fed every day by, Russ and Kathy Sievers providing food. Donna Gleason lining it up. There's so many people helping. And you know what? I don't know if everyone knows who's on our board of directors, so I'm just going to kind of go through the list real quick. So we have Phil Hayes and Christian Davies. They're both parishioners at St. Pius X in Granger. We have Mary Flint up in South Bend, who's a parishioner at St. Monica's, and they'll be on tomorrow, I think, or later today.
St. Monica's is tomorrow at 1.
Oh, that's right. And Father Jacob is actually hosting his hour. So that's going to be so fun.
All right. Yeah. That's Gotta set my alarm for that one.
Yep. And then Father Jonathan Norton at Sacred Heart in Warsaw.
They were on yesterday.
Is on our board. And then we have Matt Marshall as our board chair. Phil Hayes is actually our vice chair. And Mary Flint is our secretary. Joey Cologne is the chair of our finance committee, so probably called our treasurer. And then we have, who am I missing? Alyssa Wagner Torres. She's a young adult with just a fervor for the gospel, and she shares so many great ideas. Lisa Didier is on our board. let me see how many. I got to go through and count. Did I leave? Jason. Oh my gosh.
Wardwell.
Thank you. We've been working with OSV on some projects, and Jason Shanks. They have their innovation thing this weekend. I'm like, Jason Shanks isn't on our board, but who is Jason Wardwell? Sorry, Jason. Drink more coffee, Cindy. I think I got.
Did you mention Lisa?
Yes, Lisa Diddy right after Alyssa. Yep. So we've got people with various gifts who are so passionate about the mission. They share their insights, help us discern, make sure that that we're staying on track. Mm-hmm. As a not-for-profit, we have to stay on track with our mission, and we're accountable to not only our benefactors, but that works through our board of directors. So lots of people making lots of things happen. Connie Kronstein and Karen Reinhardt are two of our main volunteers that are here every week. Yeah. Oftentimes, putting in more hours than we are, and we really could not function without them. Yeah. So Joe Nicholas.
Or we'd have to raise a lot more money for more staff members. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
double everyone's goal on Sharathon.
Right. Yep. Yeah. All right. So if you would like to support Redeemer Radio, you can call or text. No, not call. Nobody's answering the phone right now.
Just text
260-436-9598. Also, we are accepting your Saint quote recommendations, suggestions, inspirations. So let us know your Saint quote. Or if you want to play Tri-Bond. Our Tri-Bond yesterday was an airplane. Abe Lincoln's family, Grizzly Adams' family, they all had or have cabins. And today's Tri-Bond is the Sooner State abbreviation, thumbs up, historic corral. I think a lot of people have been getting today's Tri-Bond.
Yes, we've got a lot. However, whatever message you'd like to send us, I will send you many emojis.
Okay.
If you do send us a Tri-Bond, I will send you emojis and a Tri-Bond prize.
Okay.
If you send us Tri-Bond and a donation, I will send you emojis. I will send you a Tri-Bond prize. We will give you stickers.
Yep.
We have so many things to give you today.
We do stickers for anybody that donates today, any amount. And we've got 4 stickers.
And the prize?
You get all 4.
The prize for Tri-Bond has 2. It's like 2 little funny things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's funny.
Yeah.
Good.
It's worth taking. And I keep saying, it's worth taking the 7 seconds it will take you to text in your Tri-Bond prize.
It'll put a smile on your face.
Yes.
You might not laugh out loud. You might not snicker.
You might not lol.
Yeah. All right. So send your answer to Tri-Bond. Again, it's Sooner State abbreviation, thumbs up, historic corral. Send your answer to 260-436-9598. Hopefully you already have this number in your phone by now, and you've got it saved as Redeemer Radio, so you can just text us whenever you've got a question for Bishop or a question for the doctors, or you heard something on the radio and say, hey, I love that show. Just give us some feedback. Let us know. You got that number in your phone, 260-436-9598. And again, any donation is going to get all 4 stickers. I posted a picture on the Kyle Heimann Show Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to see what the stickers look like. And anybody that donates $120 or more will get, I think this is the coolest shirt we've done so far.
It's a great shirt.
I was skeptical on it at first, maybe because of the peach-colored shirt it was originally going to be on. I was like, I don't know. But the color of the shirt, it's like a kind of greenish, grayish thing.
I don't know why Kyle keeps calling it green. It doesn't look green at all to me. It looks mostly gray. So anyway,
really?
It's not
I'd say sage.
Yeah,
I think it's like
not,
a sage.
I just don't want people to be picturing like real like a real heavy green if they're like, I don't ever wear green or whatever. Like if people are like, oh, bright colors are not my thing or whatever, I just don't want them to be like, oh, I don't even care about a green shirt, because green is just like not a word I would use to describe it. It's sage is good. It's
but
like,
sage is in the green family, though.
To me, it's more gray. To me, it's just way more gray than green. Like, it's almost the same color as Kyle's shirt to me.
Which
closer to Kyle. Yeah. So anyway, it's just not bright green.
There's pictures
in case
of
you
the
don't like
shirt
bright green
on Redeemer Radio's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You might have to scroll down a little bit because we've been posting some pictures and stuff from the Sharathon, but we've got. If you want to see what the shirt looks like, go. Maybe you can stream right now if you're on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do.
And you can see
Cindy is wearing it.
She's modeling it.
Yes.
So make your donation. $120 or more will get you the shirt and the stickers. $300 or more will get you entered in a chance to win Notre Dame tickets, Notre Dame USC, and $400 or more will get you a day sponsor. If you want to honor your parents or your spouse or your kids or your priest or some religious sister that taught you in grade school or your neighbor or whatever you want to honor for the day sponsor, $400 or more.
Ooh, that could be an evangelization thing. So somebody who doesn't listen to Redeemer Radio, you could sponsor a day for something like their birthday and just say, hey, would you please tune in to 95.7 or 106.3 and tell me if you hear anything? There you go.
All kinds of ways. So, and they're stackable. So if you donate, what is it, $700 for the day sponsor that gets more plays, or $1,000, you also get the entered in for the drawing at $300. You also get the T-shirt at $120, and you also get the stickers at whatever amount. So the stickers are only available though until 8 o'clock. After that, and also you can donate toward your favorite hour or the Tipman hour later today, so your money's doubled. Or if you've got a particular ministry, we've got Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration. They are not a parish. So they don't have parishioners, but a lot of people love them. And so maybe you want to donate in their honor. Maybe you listen to Morning Jolt with Sister Ignatia, who is one of the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration. So you want to donate in honor of that show, in honor of Sister Ignatia or the sisters in general. Again, maybe you want to donate during the Tipman hour and you want to double your money. Just text 260-436-9598 with your pledge. It could be a one-time donation. You could say, I want to donate $500 one time. Or you could be a monthly donor, and we can just take that off of your credit card or out of your bank account every month and make it easy. I know for me, like with church and stuff like that, like automated, if I can just set it and forget it, like otherwise I'm going to be a little irresponsible, and I have the best intentions of donating so much money to so many different organizations or whatever, but it's very easy to forget. So if you want to just set it monthly, you get so many monthly bills that are not doing anything for the kingdom. Maybe you want to set one that, and I kind of issued this challenge yesterday of, what if you spent as much money as you do on secular media, on Catholic media? So all of your Netflix, Hulu, HBO, whatever.
Now Peacock.
Yeah, if Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. If you whatever you're spending on all of those things, what if you said, I will match that? I'm not even saying like you should spend more. Well, maybe I am saying that. You should spend more on Catholic media than you do on secular media. How about that? Just text 260-436-9598 and let us know how much you would like to donate, one time or monthly, and we'll make sure that you get these stickers as well.
One thing I wanted to say about the podcasts, and we were talking about the flexibility that we've been able to share so much more that maybe other radio stations can't because of the way we've been doing those podcast blocks. But in addition to like the flexibility and the variety of the podcast blocks, also having the variety in the podcasts that we're creating through Spoke Street, that is like something that is so important to me about the work that we're doing, because like you guys are sitting here talking about this really like highly produced, fascinating episode of podcasts of a specific kind of show. And I will love that show, don't get me wrong, but I listen to podcasts all the time, like multiple hours a day of podcasts while I'm just doing stuff around my house. And none of the ones that I'm subscribed to are highly produced. None of them. Mm-hmm. My personal preference is for interesting people having interesting conversations. And I don't care if they're long or short. Mm-hmm. I don't care if they edit out the ums and the ahs. None of those things matter to me. If it's an interesting conversation and interesting people are talking about something, I will listen to it. So hearing you guys talk about that, something that I love is that we really do have what we're trying to do is have a variety of things that are going to bring Jesus to as many different people as possible and in as many different ways as possible. Because there are people who are not going to listen to a long conversation. Even if we're like, it's so interesting, why would you not listen to it? They're like, I don't have time. It doesn't keep my attention. I have to do other things, whatever. But they will listen to that really highly produced thing that your mind can't wander. You have to listen to the whole thing. It's so fascinating, that kind of thing. And having a diverse set of voices, even like having men and women, older people, younger people, people with families, people who don't have families, priests, all kinds of things. The more that we can offer people as in those different ways, the more likely we are to have people hearing the voice of their Creator and letting it impact their lives. And that is so vital to what the church should be doing right now, what we're hoping that we can contribute. Because you find this in secular media too, but even among a lot of like Catholic media right now, it's just a lot of the same people saying the same things, just on a different number dial or a different website or whatever, where you're not getting a lot of different perspectives or right. This is something that Pope Francis talks about, is people feeling excluded or even driven away just because they can't relate to the voices that they're hearing. Or on the other end of the spectrum, the voices that they're hearing are actively driving them away, intentionally or not. So the more that we can let the Holy Spirit work through us to find new ways and new voices and new perspectives, the more we're going to be able to speak to all of God's people. And like Jesus didn't say, okay, here's the message, just say it, and then people will listen or they won't. like that's not the message that Jesus gave. He said, go out to all nations.
Right.
And we're not doing that if we're saying the same things, the same ways, in the same mediums all the time. That's not going out to all nations. That's being lazy. That's talking to our friends. That's talking to the people who already know the message. So the more we're working so hard to have that variety and the different perspectives, the different topics, the different ideas, all keeping with the truth, but focusing it through that lens of love and like I keep saying, just different ways for people to hear the message so that hopefully something will stick. Right? It's the scattering the seeds parable.
Yeah. And so part of that is looking at what are we missing? Like, who needs this the most? And are we reaching them? And one of those that, Cindy, you have brought up multiple times is married couples.
Right.
And we can look at the divorce rates. We can look at even couples that are staying together. Are they flourishing? Are their families growing in faith? And are they growing children that are going to be disciples? And how can we help with what could potentially be, this may seem extreme, but like a pandemic of broken families and of struggling marriages, and not even of marriages that are obviously in shambles or whatever, but those that seem to have it together but are just really not thriving. They're having issues, and sometimes there can be simple solutions to their problems, and sometimes it's hearing from other couples or from experts on how to get through some of these difficult times or whatever. And so I know that's something that's been on your heart, especially, and I'm 100% in support of how can we make this happen. So maybe you can talk a little bit about your vision for that show, and maybe somebody listening is like, I want to make this happen, and they're either they have the money to do it, or they want to help fundraise for it, or they're willing to contribute some to it to make this a reality.
Right. So anytime my husband and I have taken time to intentionally focus on our marriage relationship and have something guiding us, it's always been fruitful. And I think it would be really helpful to share stories like that and model those kinds of conversations. I was also involved in a program that used to be here in Fort Wayne called The Third Option, that takes really practical tools some of them from like 12-step programs even. And you can incorporate them into your marriage right away and work on them either individually if your spouse doesn't even want to attend or listen with you, that will naturally change the patterns of communication to a more positive space. So I think demonstrating those tools and making them so easily accessible, because in the past there have been things offered like at my parish or even Third Option. It was one night a week. And if you can't make it there, and there's nothing worse than being in a marriage and you're going through a really rough patch, to have to pay for a babysitter or find a babysitter, then to leave your children and then go to a place, be with other people. I know when we're going through a rough time, it's really hard not to resent people who are like in a state of wedded bliss. So being like bringing podcasts into that private, intimate listening experience can really help like individuals, like husbands and wives, feel like they are not alone in what they're thinking and what they're feeling and what they're struggling with. And then to hear stories of other people who have worked through those issues and like most issues we're working throughout our marriage. We have these patterns of communication, these patterns of thoughts that are so ingrained in us that it can take, we can have to work to overcome them. And our marriages impact so many other aspects of our culture, like our parish life, children, like it really is dependent on healthy marriages. And it's not either you're healthy or you're not. It's a whole spectrum, and we all have room that we can grow in that flourishing in our marriage. And usually it's like up and down and up and down.
Well, and I can say from personal experience, my wife and I did go to Third Option for a while. We didn't do the full year, and part of it was because of the difficulty of children and leaving them. But one thing that we said every night after it was over was like, why isn't this stuff covered in marriage prep? And some of it should probably be covered in marriage prep. Maybe some of it was covered, but you're not in a place. You don't know.
And
I think that's a lot of it is you don't know how to process the help that you need until you need it. So we probably wouldn't have been ready for it at marriage prep. So much of it is so necessary and so important. And had it been available as a podcast, this kind of content, we would have listened to that. We could fit that into our schedule much easier than a 2-hour thing in the evening on a weeknight. So I think this would be a huge gift to the church, not just in our local community. It can feature people in the local community. We've got plenty of people that could be great participants on the show, couples and experts and stuff. But I think this would be a huge gift to the church, not only nationally, but internationally.
And not just the church. If we can help marriage, and it's a Catholic resource, it could draw people, or, like sometimes people think that religion is just restricting. But if we can show how it can help, like the principles that God has given us for marriage can help your marriage flourish, that's evangelization. That's human formation that leads to the fullness of truth that we have in Christ and the church.
And that's really the beauty of it being in podcast form, is that it's there when it's needed. Like you were saying, Kyle, like even if you had been taught about these things in marriage prep, unless the problem comes up again within the next year or 18 months or 2 years, you're not going to remember every one of those skills or solutions or whatever that came up then. At that time, you're thinking, even if you're like trying to be realistic about problems are going to come up, you're still like, okay, but I'll remember that. But then you don't. And so part of the thing about podcasts is it's there when you need it. This is something that I produce, Doctor. And this is something that I come across all the time in emails from our listeners is this health issue has come up in my family. Can you do an episode on this topic? I'm like, well, we have 230 episodes. Let me just send you the link to the one that we already did on this topic. And even me, when I'm like, I'm like, oh, I know we did this topic. Or, if it's a specific question, I'm like, I know we did this topic, but I can't remember the exact answer, even though I've listened to every single one of those podcasts. But I can go back and listen, right? I can share that with people. They're there when people need them. And that's such an incredible tool to be able to say, you don't have to memorize every answer to every question, to every problem that might ever come up in your life. Mm-hmm. It's there. It's waiting for you. And what the church has to offer is life-giving. It can actually make your life better to live, let alone like holiness and getting to heaven and having a beautiful relationship with God. Like, yeah, all of those things we also want to share and are really important. But also, like, your life can be better. Right. And we want to help make that happen because that's what the church has to offer. And that's what we want to offer.
So we just mentioned 2 shows. By extension, this kind of highly produced thing, this marriage enrichment podcast. There's more ideas that we have. There's more people that we see that are missing in our repertoire of podcasts. If you would like to make either of these possible, or if you have an idea for a podcast, reach out to us. Let us know. If you just want to blanketly support Redeemer Radio, you can just send a donation. That's great. You can text 260-436-9598. You can donate online. Go to redeemerradio.com/give, and you can donate there. But go ahead and send us a text as well. Let us know, because if you do that so before 8 o'clock, so you've got about 9 minutes, no matter what you donate, we will give a 4 sticker pack to you. We got Popple, which is a band that I'm in, a Lightning Bolt, which was the Kyle Heimann Show logo, the Spoke Street logo, and a sticker that says "Leave Room for the Holy Spirit." So you get all 4 of those, no matter what you donate, as long as it's done before 8 o'clock. So
and just a reminder today, if you have, maybe you've already donated to your parish, or maybe your parish isn't on, but today at 10 a.m. is our Tipman hour, which is when your donation can be doubled. The double effect. Yeah. We get twice as much money for your whatever amount donation. And so we have actually had 3 people this morning, Pam Shota, Dave Steffen, and Peter Lemaster, who all have donated to the Tipman hour. They're all going to get prizes. They all are going to get T-shirts and stickers. And so thanks to all of you. And if anyone else would like to jump on board with that, there's still time in this hour to get all the morning prizes.
Yes. So, and they're all going to have their money doubled. So
yes,
whatever you donate, we get free double money. So if you want to donate for that.
Thanks to the Tipmans. Yeah.
Yes. Again, $120 will get the T-shirt. It says "Made for Greatness," which is a truncated version of the quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which Andrea pointed out is kind of a derivation or truncated of a much more thorough explanation that he had at one point. So the quote is, "The world offers you comfort, but you are not made for comfort. You are made for greatness." The shirt just says "Made for Greatness," so it kind of simplifies it. Also, I think it just makes it like a little bit less in your face as you wear it. It's like a subtle, like, yeah, we're all made for greatness, but what does that mean? Well, let me tell you. It also has a Redeemer Radio logo, so you're promoting Redeemer Radio when you walk around with it. So you get that for $120 or $10 a month, and you can, again, just text us. Let us know that you would like that, and then you want the stickers, and let us know what hour you would like it to apply to. If you have a certain parish or something that you want to support, you want to help them reach their goal later today or tomorrow or even yesterday or the day before. Like if there was a parish, they didn't meet their goal, and you said, I meant to call in, but I was busy, I had the kids, or we were traveling, or whatever, like, you can still donate to those past hours, help them reach their goal. Whatever, however you want to do it.
If you're a priest who forgot you were going to go on air. Father Ben. Mellencamp.
That was fun. So we haven't talked about the schedule that's coming up later today. You can find it all at redeemerradio.com/Sharathon, which we've got all of the past Sharathon hours. Everything that happened yesterday and the day before, you can listen to them there as a podcast. You can also search for that in any podcast app. If you use Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, just search for Redeemer Radio Sharathon, and you can listen to the hours there. Even better yet, in addition to listening to them, or instead of listening to them, if you've already heard them, you can share those. So tell people that they can listen to the Sharathon hours. If you know somebody that was on the radio, encourage them to share that out so their family and friends could hear it if they weren't able to hear it or maybe missed it for one reason or another.
And you know what? If you need some encouragement today, go back and listen to the St. Matthew's Hour. There was a little girl, I'm not sure what her name is, but she shared, oh my gosh, just about like picking a saint. Well, actually, she said the saint picked her.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, such hope. Like, there's some good stuff happen at St. Matthew's School in South Bend, our co-cathedral. So go back and listen to that. Like, everyone here, like manning the phones, was like, "Oh, we just want to hug her."
Well, and you can also watch it. So that was streamed on YouTube and Facebook, so you can find those.
It might not have been for St. Matthew's Hour. We were having some technical difficulties. I don't remember if that started after or before. But you can listen. I promise you that.
RedeemerRadio.com/Sharathon. Maybe just a real quick run through the schedule here. We've got 8 o'clock, Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration. I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Just such joyful sisters, too.
They usually sing, too, at some point.
Okay, good. St. Joseph, South Bend, will be at 9 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock is the Double Your Dollar Tipman Hour. So we'll have many people from the Tipman family in here, I'm sure. And any donation made during that hour or any donation made before or after, if you say you want it to go towards the Tipman Hour, will be doubled, thanks to the generosity of the Tipmans. The St. Jude Fort Wayne Hour is at 11. And then we have St. John the Baptist Fort Wayne, I assume that's Fairfield, at noon. We've got Queen of Angels at 1 o'clock. St. Aloysius is at 2 o'clock, which I've always known about St. Aloysius. I never even thought of it being St. Aloysius of Gonzaga for some reason. I never put that together until Bishop mentioned it in an episode of Truth and Charity. I was like, oh, yeah, of course it's St. Aloysius Gonzaga. Business underwriters are going to come in at 3 o'clock. I always enjoy that hour. Some of our underwriters, it reminds me that they're not supporting it just for the advertisement, but because they believe in the mission. And so many of our underwriters are doing just that. St. Adalbert and St. Casimir are on at 4 o'clock today. And then Notre Dame Federal Credit Union will wrap things up at 5 o'clock. So I went through that quickly, but you can find the whole schedule at RedeemerRadio.com/Sharathon. Also information there about donating, and you can also find information about the different gifts that you can get for donating. So again, you get a t-shirt at $120, a chance to win Notre Dame tickets at $300. A day sponsor starts at $400. There's also $700 and $1,000 if you want more mentions of your day sponsorship. And if you donate in the next 3 minutes, we have a 4-pack of stickers that you can get. So no matter what you donate. So this is all stackable. You get more you donate, the more you get.
And I would just want to throw out a shout out to Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. They have worked with us to be able to, pay off the loan for our towers, and they're always looking for a way. Oh, I'm hearing an echo. Sorry.
We're getting an echo all of a sudden. It makes me feel fancy. It's like we're in a stadium.
Makes me feel creeped out. I hate hearing my own voice. But anyway, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union gets really creative with the ways that they help people with their finances, and like they put Catholic principles into the way they do business. So shout out to them.
Yeah, and we've got, for our Underwriters Hour, Steve mentioned, we've got Jimmy Schindler from Banditos, Marion Stroud from the Fertility and Midwifery Clinic, Amanda Shepard from the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, and Abby Brandenberger of Indiana Physical Therapy. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good hour. Yeah.
All right, so if you would like to support Redeemer Radio, this is our big fundraiser. We don't do this every day. We don't do it every week. Yeah, at church they pass the collection basket every week. You get that. Well, pre-COVID, I guess. Now we donate online, but we have a big fundraiser twice a year with Sharathon, and this is how we're able to continue what we're doing. And like we said, not just maintain the status quo, but to continue to grow and reach more and more people. And so if you want to be a part of that, you can donate at any time at RedeemerRadio.com. You can send a text to 260-436-5655. $95.98. We can apply your donation to any other hour later today, and any donation of any amount in the next minute, just say, I'm in, and we'll follow up with you later. We'll get a 4-pack of stickers. So if you're interested in that, just send us a text, say, I want some stickers, and we'll hook you up. So thank you so much for everybody that's listening. Thank you to everybody that's volunteered, that's brought in food, that is spending time answering phones or whatever. We're so blessed with this station, and we are going to be joining the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration up at the South Bend studio. Easy for me to say, right? Here in just a few minutes. So keep tuned in to Sharathon all day today. You can find information at redeemerradio.com/Sharathon if you want to do that. You're listening to the Fall Sharathon here on Redeemer Radio.
You're listening to Sharathon on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM WRDF, Columbia City, Fort Wayne, 95.7 FM WRDI, Napanee, Michiana, and streaming on the Redeemer Radio app. Stay tuned to your listener-supported local Catholic radio station.
It's easy to become a Redeemer Radio supporter. Volunteers are standing by and lines are open for you. Call or text GIVE to 260-436-9598.